Okay, fifth grade. So you should have already looked at your checklist for today for April 22nd. And now I want to go over a little bit of the lesson with you and teach you a little bit before you go over the lesson and vocabulary. So I want to go over a few different types of poems. So in your packet, you have something like this, and I want you to pay attention to these different types of poems. So the first one I want to focus on is a haiku. So it might sound kind of funny. It is a traditional form of a Japanese poem. So that's where it comes from. And as you can see, it only has 3 lines. That's the whole poem. So the whole poem is only 3 lines. And the first one has 5 syllables. The earth is alive. So remember, the syllables are when you break down the sounds, when you're breaking it up and you hear 5 different separate sounds. The second line, if we don't take care of it, you end up having 7 syllables. And then the third line, you end up having 5 syllables. So remember that a haiku is only 3 lines, and the pattern goes like this. You have 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and then 5 syllables again. Acrostic over here, you write the topic. You might remember this from like second or third grade. You might have done some of these, especially for like Mother's Day or some specific day that was real special. So you have the topic that you write down with the letter of the topic, and then that makes a line. And so you have the topic Earth, and then your poem's going to be describing Earth. But you have to describe Earth with an E. It starts with an E, and then an A, and then an R, and then a T, and then an H. So again, that's acrostic. This one right here is seen can, is how you say it. And it's going to be 5 lines. And so if you look at the first line, that's your topic. The topic that you're writing the poem about is about a gardener. The whole poem is about a gardener. So then you have a gardener does what? Grows plants. So right here, you're going to have something that describes the topic, and the first line is 2 syllables. Gardener. That's 2 sounds. It's broken up, 2 syllables. Grows plants. That's 4 syllables. And then you have more adjectives describing what a gardener does: planting, growing, watering. That's 6 syllables total. Then quietly working in sunshine, 8 syllables. Planter is another word. It's a synonym to describe a gardener. 2 syllables. So it should be 2 syllables, 4 syllables, 6 syllables, 8, and 2. So if you're going to do one of these as your activity, then you have to make sure you have 2 syllables in the first line, 4 syllables in the second, 6 syllables in the third, 8 syllables in the fourth, and 2 syllables in the fifth. So it'll be 5 lines. The shape poem is pretty easy. Basically, you just create the shape of what the topic is that you're talking about. So, example, the topic here is about planet, and Earth. So you're going to draw the shape of an Earth, and that's it. And then you describe what it is. Now, as you can see, not all these poems rhyme. They don't have to rhyme just because you're used to, from second and third grade and on, that you have Dr. Seuss and stuff like that you're used to poetry rhyming. Poetry doesn't always have to rhyme. What it has to be about is just the feelings, thoughts, ideas, sensory language. That is what poetry is. So it's written in many different forms, but it does not have to rhyme. Okay, diamante, that's Italian for diamond. And so basically you just need to create it in the shape of a diamond. So for here, the topic is garbage. So if that's the topic, you start with that first, and then you have an adjective. You have 2 adjectives: trash, waste. Describes garbage. It's actually, nouns too. But then you have verbs: wasting, rotting, stinking. And then as you can see, those verbs have an ing there at the end. Wasting, rotting, stinking. Okay, 4 words, can, bottle, paper, disposable. That all describes garbage as well. Then 2 adjectives, gross, useless. Okay, so pay attention to how that one is written, and if you like the way that this form is, this type of poetry, then you may use this one for your activity later on. Then there at the end, you have junk, which is the antonym for garbage. So you have to have the opposite. What is the opposite of garbage? It is also junk. Let's look at the next sheet that I provided for you. So this is a bio poem. So bio is the same thing as biography. So if you're writing about someone else, because remember autobiography, auto is self. So biography is you're writing about someone else. So you could think of a friend or your pet or somebody special in your life, and then write the name there up at the top, and the whole poem is about them. The whole poem describes that person or that noun. Anything there that you're describing a person is a bio poem. So here is more examples. I'll let you look in closely of scene can. So remember, see can, you have the topic there at the top, and then remember you have to have 5 lines, and then your pattern is 2 syllables, 4 syllables, 6 syllables, 8 syllables, and 2 syllables there at the bottom. Okay, so we already looked at that one. That one's just more examples. We already looked at shape poem. So this topic is about a raindrop. So as you can see, they drew it in the shape of a raindrop. So this one was really popular last year. A lot of students like to do this one because they enjoy drawing, and then they can draw their topic and then put the words in that shape. Remember, the haiku is the Japanese poetry that we just learned about, and it is 3 lines, and the first and last lines are 5 syllables, and the middle line is 7 syllables. So those are just some more examples that I wanted to include before you make your own. This limerick right here, it's 5 lines, and if you look at the rhyme scheme, you have slick, so that's A. Quick, quick and slick rhyme together, so they both get A. They're in the A pattern. Calm does not rhyme with quick. Calm does not rhyme with slick. So calm gets a B. It gets a whole separate letter. Alarm and calm rhyme together, so they both have B's. Kick rhymes with slick and quick, so they go in the A group. So as you can see, your rhyme scheme is AA, BB, A. So if you're doing a limerick, it has to be in that pattern. If you want to write a sonnet, you see lots of sonnets in poetry. This will be a lot of what you're learning in middle school. The sonnet has a rhyme scheme. If you look, sonnet and write do not rhyme together. So sonnet has an A, write has a B. It and sonnet rhyme together, so they have another A. They go in the A group. Write and write, same word, so it rhymes, goes in the B group. And then you keep going on. So if you look at that rhyme scheme pattern, it goes along with the explanation here of a sonnet. It also needs to be 14 lines. So if you're going to write this one, make sure it's 14 lines. Okay, so just read the description if this is what you would like to choose for your activity. And then you write it there on the blank. Diamante, Italian for diamond, needs to be in the shape of a diamond. It gives you the explanation here. It says choose a topic. Here it says snow. Use 2 adjectives, silent, white. That describes snow. Use 3 verbs ending in ing. Okay, you can see this example, covering everything it touches. Sorry, wrong line. Dancing, falling, drifting. Okay, those are 3 different verbs that end in ing. Then use a 4-word phrase to capture a feeling about the topic, covering everything it touches. Or you can use 4 separate words. The other example just had 4 separate words that described snow or that were relatable to snow. Then it says, step 5, use 3 verbs to describe the opposite of your topic. So, crackling, burning, blazing, that's the opposite of your topic. Then the next step says use 2 adjectives to describe the opposite of your topic, which is hot and red. So the opposite of snow is obviously fire. There's your antonym there at the bottom. Okay, the other example did it a little bit differently. So just pay attention to both examples. And if you choose to do this for your activity, you can follow either one. The found poetry, like mentioned in the checklist, if you're going to do this as part of your activity, you need to find an old book and make sure you have permission that nobody needs that book if you're going to tear out a page. Or what you can do is just scan it or take a picture of it and then upload it into the computer, and then maybe draw and do your bubbles and boxes that way. So there's different options, but only do this if you have the opportunity and means to do it. You might not have any old books that you could do this for. So this one's real cool because you just kind of create different bubbles, different boxes, and you find different words and you make them connect, and you make the poem out of the words from this. Okay? So there's different types of poetry. Other different types of poetry that we probably didn't talk about. If you want to do lyrics for like a song or a rap, you can do that. If it doesn't rhyme, that's fine. It doesn't have to rhyme. It just has to be about a topic, about feelings, thoughts, ideas. I've already said that before, but just to kind of reiterate. So if you want to write a song, you may. It doesn't have to rhyme. If it doesn't rhyme, we call that a free verse. So even if it's not a song, any type of poetry that doesn't rhyme is called a free verse. It's just when you're kind of thinking and going in the moment and nothing really necessarily rhymes. So those are all different types of poetry. Pay attention to your vocabulary video and then get ready to write your own. Have some fun with it. Again, if you have any questions, just reach out. Thanks.